So at this point, we all know that the artist formerly known as Kanye West is, well, crazy. You don't even have to be plugged into hip hop to know that the dude is deeply unwell and constantly crashing out. Now, there's a lot you could say about an artist who was once so influential, so forward-thinking, so beloved by millions, only to throw it all away. Whether that's because of a severe mental health crisis, yes men, bad influences, or just an industry that chews people up and spits them out, none of that is really explored in the new documentary In Whose Name, which is now playing in theaters. I haven't seen much coverage on this film, so here are my thoughts. Before I even get into the doc, I want to say this. Kanye wasn't just another rapper. He was the rapper. He was the guy who shaped the sound of the 2000s and 2010s. College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, those records changed the culture. 808's rewired pop and hip-hop forever. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is still considered one of the greatest albums of the century. So yeah, this story matters. His downfall matters, which is why I was curious about what In Whose Name might add to the conversation. First off, let me be clear. This is not an apologetic look at Kanye. The film doesn't pretend that everything he's done over the last 7 years was actually good or brilliant or misunderstood. The director, Nico Ballesteros, was only 18 when he got into Kanye's circle and started filming him back in 2018. How that happened, still unclear. Honestly, it reminds me of the plot of a way better film I saw this year called Lurker. Check that out if you haven't. Anyway, Nico took this fly-on-the-wall approach to Kanye's antics. The problem is, it ends up feeling more like a YouTube crash-out compilation than an actual documentary. And maybe I'm too close to the material. I've been a big fan of Ye's music since the late 2000s, and I've followed his career closely. So for me, nothing here has felt new. His freakouts are already well documented. The White House visit during Trump's first term, the SNL rant, the 2020 campaign, the Donda rollout, hanging with Elon Musk, the White Lives Matter shirt. We've seen all of this. Now, to be fair, there is one moment that stood out. Backstage after SNL, Michael Che directly confronts Kanye, telling him to his face that he disrespected everyone on the show even though they all welcomed him in. That moment was raw. Kanye looked weak, and honestly, I gained a ton of respect for Che for standing up to him. That felt new, and that felt real. But outside of that, not much. Where Nico really drops the ball is failing to get interviews with people who could actually give us perspective. Kim Kardashian, Pusha T, Cudi, even people behind the scenes. Nobody's in here. No voices, no context, just Kanye. And look, I get it. Maybe Kanye had some control here. Maybe Nico, being so young, felt stuck and even intimidated. I could see him being scared to push back against someone or acting this erratic. That's just me speculating, but it makes sense. Still, the film feels like it's missing a lot. Instead of a real deep dive, it just plays like Wikipedia cliff notes of Kanye's public image since 2018. Like, for example, the chaotic Donda rollout could have been a documentary on itself, or even the Wyoming sessions that gave us Ye and Kids See Ghosts. That could have been its own film. Instead, we just get scene after scene of Kanye's rambling nonsense. And here's the thing, there are music documentaries that pulls this off. Amy gave us such a heartbreaking, intimate look at Amy Winehouse's struggles that you understood her pain in a deeper way. The Last Dance turned Michael Jordan's footage into a compelling, decade-spanning narrative. Even Genius, the Kanye Netflix documentary from 2022, had way more insight because the filmmakers actually cared about telling a coherent story. By comparison, In Whose Name just feels shallow. It has access, but no perspective. And then near the end, something happens I don't think I've ever seen in a documentary before. Nico literally shows us his hard drives and footage loading into the editing software. File names, timestamps, the works. And then he just admits that he didn't know what to do with it all. Kanye broke him. His only choice was to just dump it in chronological order and hope a story came out. Spoiler, it doesn't. We just end up with what we already know, Kanye screaming at everyone and everything. And honestly, it's sad, because for people like me who grew up with his music, this isn't just gossip. This is the guy who made the soundtrack to my teens and 20s. The guy who made Runaway. To see him reduced to this, reduced to rants and hate and chaos, it sucks. And it makes me wonder, what does legacy even mean in the constant exposure? What would John Lennon look like if he had Twitter? Would he have come off as some lunatic too? How many of our so-called genius artists would survive living in a social media world? Bottom line, I do not recommend In Whose Name. You already know this story, and this film won't change your view of Kanye, whatever that even is at this point. If you want to watch a music documentary that actually teaches you something or makes you feel something, watch Amy. Or watch Oasis Supersonic. It's timely. Oasis is back. But this just feels like wasted access. Kanye was one of my favorite artists, but whoever that was, this person is long gone.